A movie that starts with a gruesome vehicular homicide.
And ends with a parody of the orgy sequence from Eyes Wide Shut. Let's talk about The Lovebirds.
He's fucking dead!
We know he's dead, but we didn't kill him.
He like to report a murder or whatever.
We didn't murder anybody!
1, 2, 3, go!
No! Jabron!
Okay, the guy's name is Jabron.
Run, Leilani!
And the girl's name's actually Leilani. She's running too now. Kind of slow, like she's wearing heels that look actually amazing.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Hey everyone, I'm Kelton.
And I'm Devon.
No sup bitches? Not today?
I'm not feeling it.
No, I'm sorry. We've been, truth be told, away from our normal recording schedule. So we are now recording much later in the night than usual. Our energy level is a little down, and we have both been just cannibalizing our way through HBO Max, and specifically Silicon Valley, because why the fuck not? Why not just abuse it as long as it's here, right?
Quarantine. Fuck yeah.
That's a bizarre South Park. It's not even South Park. It's Team America reference. That'd be a fun thing to talk about on the show someday. Just talk about a whole bunch of puppets in an action movie. I could totally just talk about that for hours.
Oh yeah, you made me watch that movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
On the list of 1,000 other things.
The
that I
weird
made you
brown
watch as
painted
well.
puppets.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm not saying that every aspect holds up super wokely, but okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on into announcements. Yeah, I hope everyone's had a good week so far. I hope everyone's looking forward to their weekend. Please go ahead and review the show. Give us 5 stars on whatever podcasting service you are a part of. I think Spotify is going to just be buying up everything anyway. So requesting 5 stars on iTunes might end up dating the show entirely. Like, oh, that's before everything became a Spotify adjacent podcast. Also, go ahead and check us out on YouTube. You can go ahead and see both the episodes and some of our occasional video shit posts on there. Those are either worth a chuckle or a share, just depending on what mood you're in. Also, go ahead and follow us on Twitter and Letterboxd at Gigo Podcast, Gigo Podcast, and join our Discord for Monday movie nights, which will actually be happening in the Garbage In, Garbage Out Discord from now on, as opposed to the Psychic Dolphin Garage Discord. As much fun as it is to have just a handful of people watching every Monday night, the branding is a little weird to say, garbage in, garbage out, come join Psychic Dolphin Garage. That way then you can watch the best of sports radio of 1917. Just some bullshit. Too many side projects.
Pick a lane, god damn it.
Yeah. It's my problem of not having any one particular talent. I'm just trying to franchise out as much as possible. Just trying to be the ideas guy and hopefully get picked up somewhere else and play it by ear from there. But
I'm trying to sequel a non-sequelable thing.
That's right. I'm gonna turn this indie film into a franchise. I'm gonna Rambo this shit. Now, what movie are we actually talking about today here, Devon? Because The Lovebirds. It's a new film on Netflix. What did you think we were going to get ourselves into when we first started watching?
I mean, when I heard Kamal Nanjiani was in it and like saw him, I figured it was just going to be like kind of a repeat of The Big Sick. Like, I was like, how many like rom-com shits are he? How many rom-coms?
How many times is this man's wife going to almost die?
Pretty much. I thought it was just going to be like another rom-com thing. I was like, here we go again. Didn't he do another one? Like, isn't there like 3?
Possibly. I'm not very well versed in his overall filmography. I mean,
might be confusing The Big Sick and like giving it another title and saying that's a whole other movie. I don't know.
Well, it is weird because like in The Big Sick, he's an Uber driver, right? That's how he like pays his bills while doing stand-up comedy. But then he does a movie called Stuber, where his name is Stu and he's an Uber driver for Dave Bautista, who is like a secret agent.
And then this
then,
one, he
yeah,
starts off driving. Like,
it's one man's obsession with just moderately priced sedans, I guess, is what we're gonna find out about him. But yeah, this movie was a delight in my head, exactly for what I had no idea what was going to be next. Because
yeah, we didn't watch the
basic
trailer or anything, but
no. I mean, I just was like, oh well, this is that movie Netflix bought. Might as well watch it. And then thankfully, it turned out to be a movie that just everyone has kept on wanting to watch and wanting to see. Which cool, good for us. Helps us stay topical. Now, in this particular premise point, a couple played by Issa Rae, I believe, from Insecure on HBO, and Camille Nanjiani. They're a couple. They experience a defining moment in their relationship when they are unintentionally embroiled in a murder mystery. Ooh, Netflix and couples with murder mysteries. Everyone should check out Murder Mystery with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. I will go to hell defending that movie as something I enjoy. But
finally, we actually get a mystery instead of Scoob.
Right? Oh God,
God.
That is true. It is sad that this is more of a mystery movie than Scoob.
Yes,
but
it is.
We're also assuming people have actually watched or listened to various episodes back to back, which, my God, thank you so much if you are one of those few dozen people. You are few and proud and mighty and hopefully growing instead of dwindling. I'm too scared to check the analytics on them.
Go get
Anyways.
a life and, don't follow our example.
Right. So as Issa Rae and Camille Nanjiani, as they are then trying to clear their names, it takes them from one extreme and set of circumstances to another, and they have to figure out how they can actually do that, and then also maybe fix their relationship and survive the night. And I mean, overall, I felt like the Lovebirds was a little less than the sum of its parts, if you will. I think that there are several scenes where if I saw just those scenes, I would go, wow, I really like this movie. But then watching the plot as a whole, I mean, kind of just take it or leave it. Because the plot itself does is it serves as a vehicle to let Issa Rae and Camille Nanjiani kind of do their, scrappy comedy bits that they hadn't worked into other stuff. So I still like their overall banter between each other, but I didn't quite buy them as actual romantic leads.
Well, yeah, and they said they kind of improvised a lot of the time just to try to make it feel real. But I mean, it doesn't come off coupley, it comes off like
No, it doesn't, because when
friends who are just thrown into a situation.
Exactly. Because when you let people improv that are comedians, they're going to sound like comedians improving.
At least make them fuck before. Have them have
Something.
some sort of relationship.
Force chemistry on them. Because, I mean, their actual jobs, he's a documentary filmmaker, she's an ad exec. Those are not real quippy, haha, fire or from the hip, shoot from the hip kind of moments as much as they are jobs, man. And the banter between those two isn't going to be like that. So it's not really building out their actual characters and their characters having a through logic to their own arcs as much as they are going to be as funny as the actors portraying them can make them in that one scene, and then they're going to go ahead and move on. So again, I really like it. I just think though that it's a I guess it's a bad movie, but it has a lot of great scenes in it. That makes sense because
their
the whole
jobs
arc.
were pretty much irrelevant through the whole movie, except for
a lot of it was irrelevant.
The beginning where they're fighting about just relationship stuff and they're bringing up their jobs, but that's the only time it really gets brought up, except for hey, I watched your film that you didn't want me to watch, but I did it anyway. I liked it.
Guess
but
what?
I didn't
I would
think
watch
you would
it
like
again.
it, so I didn't want to show it to you. Just shit like that. It just seemed very forced, and it's call back to the beginning of the movie. You gotta remember, they still have their jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why this movie, on average, critics gave it a 6.2 out of 10. Audiences gave it a 5.7 out of 10. So it's not a home run movie. It's a solid single. You know,
Yeah.
you got on base. It's not a flop. And man, this would have bombed at the box office.
Netflix, please
Uh,
don't make another one because it will not go anywhere. God.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, like if they make another one with a male Pakistani and a female African American lead, you know, that's pretty good on the diversity side at the very least, because they're not resigned to being quippy sideshow characters.
But
Yeah,
where
but-
are you going to find that kind of couple who are also
Again?
comedians again? There's no
Well,
diversity in this.
Just reunite them, you know, but have them, you know, be cousins or something. Make it like really weird.
Just have them flash
that.
into the future, but they're both like married to like other people and they have like kids together though.
Yeah, is that the world that we're building for
That's
them?
their sequel. That's all it is.
The Bigger Sick. I mean, it could just be this like bizarre family comedy kind of film. It's like, ah, man, Lovebirds 2, meet the Love Brats, and it's just all the kids being all scampy. Yeah. So some background, by the way, on this movie before we dive into the actual plot. In January 2019, it was announced that Camille Nanjiani had been set to reunite with the Big Sick director Michael Showalter with a screenplay from the creator of Blind Spot, which you've seen Blind Spot, right?
God, I didn't know it was from this dude.
Yeah. So what is Blind Spot exactly? Like as general premise here. We're talking like 2-sentence summary. I don't need to know the full plot line. Like, how does the show start? It's a woman who has amnesia and a whole bunch of tattoos, right?
It is a woman who has been drugged to forget her whole life, who is shoved into a bag covered in tattoos that are all coded like
Okay.
yeah,
This
things.
is not blind cast. So, point is that like the vibe is very different between this movie and Blind Spot.
Yes,
right?
lately I cannot take Blind Spot, like seriously.
Well, and so I think that's where we kind of get to see the idea of what this movie may have originally been was probably a lot less like funny and more action based. And these two stars, once they joined on, since they were also executive producers and doing rewrites and improv,
And
they really
comedians
made
in
it-
general.
Exactly. They really made this an actually funny thing. And I can only imagine the garbage fire it was before this, because the actual plot I didn't give two shits about. I mean, I wanted to just see them do more bits.
It would have just turned into Extraction with a couple.
You know, I really, really don't like that idea.
Well, that's what it
Mr.
would
and
have been
Mrs.
into.
Extraction. Yeah. So this movie was actually supposed to appear at South by Southwest to help get some festival buzz around it, but that got canceled due to COVID-19. And then it was actually then going to be theatrically released, I believe, in April. I could be wrong on that. But then they obviously had to delay that at Paramount. And then they sold the movie to Netflix, which I've seen different numbers on how much they've actually sold it for. I believe the last number I saw, the first one was 30 million. The other one was 16 million, which was, yeah. Oof. Pretty rough stuff on that part if you're Paramount, because, I mean, you're selling it at cost, basically, with what the budget is of being 16 there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think that many people are watching it, but I mean, that's on
I
them,
mean, it's
I
the
guess.
number one movie on Netflix. Like, this is a movie that only will get popular on Netflix.
Well, yeah.
This thing, though, is
It's
entirely
where all the
forgettable.
comedians are going is Netflix.
Well, duh. I mean, why not if you're a comedian? Like, this movie doesn't inspire a whole lot of passion from people, kind of one way or the other. One thing I like to do as I'm getting ready to make a docket and do anything else is to just scroll through the IMDb trivia page as I'm looking then also at various other production notes. By the way, you have to vet IMDb trivia because literally anyone can add an interesting fact on there. So half of the things on there are absolutely false.
You mean it's
So you have-
Wikipedia?
Yeah. I guess that is my attitude. Is that the way teachers in the mid 2000s treated Wikipedia is how I view IMDb trivia right now. There's only one piece of actual trivia here on the Lovebirds. It's talking about how it got delayed due to COVID-19. That's not even fucking trivia about the actual movie.
Yeah, like
That's
what
just
hasn't gotten delayed from it, you know?
Several people's periods, hopefully.
Jeez. Don't hit me like that.
Anyways, okay, time for the plot breakdown. So let's run through it. We've been talking for a little bit here. We've been making up a good head of steam. This movie, again, since it relies so much on quips, to just go through beat by beat on everything kind of feels like we're explaining a joke. We could probably just play a little fast and loose, give people an idea of what happened here, and then we can talk about it as stuff develops. So the movie opens with Issa Rae and Camille Nanjiani. They're stepping out of one of each other's apartments, and they've clearly just had a one-night stand with each other, and they're trying to end things amicably, but then everything keeps on getting delayed. Like, they end up going to breakfast, they end up then walking through the park. They just have such amazing chemistry. Wow, they're soulmates. Turns out that then builds into a 4-year relationship, where then we smash cut into what usually happens around those 4-year relationship marks of they're having some trouble, they're arguing about petty shit, like who would do well on The Amazing Race. That's something that we can't relate to at all, right, Devon? No hiccups here on our end.
Totally not, you know? Woohoo.
I mean, that's just because we both know that you would be the weak link on The Amazing Race.
You bitch.
I mean, you are definitely the more athletically fit of the two of us, don't get me wrong.
And I'm the broken one.
Yeah, but when it comes to any form of trivia whatsoever, come on now. I got this shit locked down.
Yes.
You know, that's where I feel like I would do much better on a show like Survivor.
I could do puzzles. I could do puzzles, like pattern puzzles, but that's it. You could do like trivia. Like, what time was Amsterdam relocated? I don't know.
Even then, that's not like my absolute strong suit. I'm a very like empathetic person. I really try to like see where other people are coming from.
Are you?
But the second something like becomes like completely competitive, of where like it's winner take all, mask off, full blown sociopath does not understand human emotions, let alone care for them. It's win now, baby. Gotta get that fantasy football championship locked down.
All in all, we would pretty much end up like this couple, breaking
Yeah.
up.
And that's actually what happens is that their argument that they're having inside the house carries over to in the car as they're headed out to a dinner party, and then they ended up hitting a dude who was on a bicycle, and they're like, oh my god, oh, how could this happen? Oh, I didn't even see him. I went right through that red light. Oh, this is miserable.
They were in an alley. Like, it was so weird. Like, why were you driving through an alley? I don't know what New Orleans is like, but whatever.
Yeah, this is not setting New Orleans in the best light possible about where, you know, like, come check us out. We have like super racist cops. Also, our pharmacy stores let you just do whatever, man. It's cool. Wear those clothes before you check out. Anyways, okay, getting ahead of myself here. So they hit a guy on a bicycle. A guy runs up to them, identifies himself as an officer of the law, and then commandeers their vehicle with them inside, and then ends up finding who this other guy is and tracking down the guy on the bike, and then he ends up running him over repeatedly, and it's quickly become apparent that maybe this guy isn't actually the cop that they thought that he was, and so they get out of the car just as onlookers are gathering to the scene, and they do this, okay, well, in the count of three, we know what to do. 1, 2, 3, and then one of them starts running away. The other one starts to talk to the people. It's an interesting little bit there.
Yeah, and who they help the guy find the bicycle dude, and then they're like, oh shit, what did we do? Maybe we're not on the right side of this. And also some hipsters find the dead guy, and they're like, oh no, let's take some selfies with him. And then later on the news, it's like these people are being, what was the word? Like they're getting therapy. Like they're getting like something therapy for seeing a dead body, but at the same time you're taking pictures of it with it.
That's hipsters for you, which are totally real things that exist in the year 2020 and not at all just a weird product of someone's image of when the script was made in 2014. So, anyways, they then end up deciding to hide out in a knockoff IHOP where there's this bit that Camille does about milkshakes. That when they serve you the milkshake, they then always give you the extra. Why is that true with that food instead of any other food? And that was the moment that I realized, oh, this is them literally doing their stand-up. This is what's happening. Like the movie is screeching and grinding down to a complete halt just so they can pivot for about 90 seconds and do like some joke that they've had in their head. And that it's the job of the screenwriter to then make that joke make sense with the rest of the plot of the movie.
And then the Leilani chick is doing like the dirty cop kind of stand-up routine, like I'm covering my body cam so I could beat your ass.
Which, my God, timely, right?
Yeah, yeah. This week has not been a good week. I mean, this year hasn't been a good year, but this week has been really, really bad for any African Americans.
Yeah, just this week though. Before then, totally
I know.
Fine. Nothing to complain about whatsoever.
Fine until right now.
Yep,
what did they do?
Have.
What did they do?
What did they do?
That's right.
Oh God. Okay. So, they realize that they have the bicycle guy's phone. And they realize that then they have an opportunity to meet up with one of his cohorts and possibly clear their names. They're really just trying to get the cops off their back is their main goal. And it turns out that this is a trap. So then they end up getting kidnapped, and then they wake up and they're tied up in a barn, and they're threatened with torture via what was that lady from? No. What was
Pitch
the
Perfect.
lady from? That's right. They're being tortured by the cheerleader. Pitch Perfect. Whatever the fuck. I don't even know. What would you describe her as? Like the original acapella chick from the first movie?
She was the pitch captain or something.
Oh my God! Yes, the pitch captain. Sorry, I'm not familiar with these terms.
I don't know.
Sound like they could also be cricket
it's
terms.
Probably wrong, but it's that equivalent. So
yeah, it's just ridiculousness. So they're locked up in this barn with Pitch Perfect lady. She's deciding to threaten them and ask, well, who's your boss? Who are you working for? Let me talk to your boss. Blah, 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 blah. They realize that they've kind of stumbled across something related to blackmail. And they then are interrogated with the threat of either bacon grease or
whatever's behind the door.
And it's quickly revealed that behind the barn door is a horse. And you get to see the classic comedy bit of a guy getting kicked in the chest by a horse and it not just caving in his sternum and rib cage like it normally would.
And this is where I come in with consistency. Holy crap. Little bit later when they show his bruised body underneath his shirt, it is not in the place where the horse supposedly kicked him, and that pisses me off. But anyway,
how could they? So, needless to say that the getting kicked on the horse knocks him back. He's then able to shake loose of the restraints, and then he grabs a piece of paper that fell on the floor, and then him and his now ex-partner, they're able to then face off against their captors, and he's holding a fire extinguisher, she's holding a rake. It becomes, okay, all right, we gotta stand our ground. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And wouldn't you know it, she runs away this time. Ha ha!
Because that's what
classic.
he did before.
Classic comedy. Yes, not at all played out as a trope whatsoever.
Again, pick a lane.
So they managed to track down and follow this address, and they. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So they somehow managed to escape because no one chases after them. Weirdly, again, the logic of this movie, you need to just kind of check that at the door, because it's more, at this next scene there's going to be a new set of bits. It's going to have a new level of seriousness, whatever. So they escape. They go to this pharmaceutical drugstore, Walgreens looking place. They change clothes, and then they're able to then go into a house full of frat boys, or they attempt to break in, and actually do. They interrogate one of the frat boys who they call him Mini Brett Kavanaugh, which again feels like a very 2016, 2017 kind of joke. Like, it already felt dated in 2020.
I did not catch that, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's right. He's a Supreme Court justice now. Oh, man. That's not gonna that's gonna be weird. Like, yeah, so why are they Mom, Dad, you showed me this movie from when you were
in
young
quarantine
adults yourselves. Yeah. Why are they saying that this frat guy is like a Supreme Court justice now? What's the story behind that? That just seems like, again, something you're gonna have to go into and dive into, and just makes me sad. Anyways, okay, so they're interrogating one of the frat boys, while the mustache guy who said he was a cop before, he breaks in on the other end, and because of the loud music, they can't hear each other. What another classic coinky dink. And the mustache guy is just like killing all of the frat boys, like murdering the ever-living Christ out of them.
Yeah.
And so our heroes are able to somehow escape and grab a folder with some photos of something. They have no idea exactly what, but they think it's the blackmail envelopes that the bike guy was involved in. And then as they are going down the fire escape, they are able to that's when I think they get a phone notification, right? It's all
I
kind
don't
of a
know.
blur. Okay, anyways,
It kind
they
of
get
just
a phone notification
just
on the
melts
bike guy.
into the next scene. Really, like, you don't notice. They get a notification on the phone, and it's, this black tie event is happening tonight. He's like, oh, I guess our dude was supposed to go there. Okay, well, we can totally go there. But we have to get into this phone to get the actual address and everything, and the invitation.
Yeah, what sort of app, by the way, lets you see, like, here's the title of your email, here's a subject line, here are the first couple lines of text, but you need to unlock your phone to see the rest of it, because that might actually be sensitive data.
It was also like a full screen invite, and the phone isn't open. It does not make any sense.
No.
But anyway, they go, hey, well, there's this dude at the party we were supposed to go to earlier and you were complaining about. Let's go there and get that guy who, looks at me and you don't like it, whatever, to go open up this phone for us.
Yeah, so they go to the dinner party, and obviously they just kind of look a mess. They're dressed very inappropriately. Oh, man, such classic comedy. Oh, so original. They're not dressed appropriately for the fancy dinner party. Isn't that just, what a riot?
Also,
anyways,
how long is the dinner party? Because it is during the day when they start this party, and it is well into the night, and they're like, oh, we're running out of wine. Can you pick them up?
Yeah, I think all of their friends are like group alcoholics.
I don't know.
Also, maybe they might be the type to actually get into an orgy. Maybe that's what they were trying to hype themselves up for beforehand. They're like, all right, we're going to meet for 2 p.m. for this dinner party. We're going to say it's a dinner party.
Oh, that's also another thing we missed. They were, in the beginning, they're fighting about orgies. That's one of their couple fights in the very beginning of the movie. They're fighting about, whether an orgy is like spontaneous and sexy or it's like on a Google Calendar. That's gonna be relevant later.
Spontaneous Google Calendar, I think, is the best way to operate. Like, oh, I didn't even realize I had this planned. Who could do?
Spawn Google?
Yeah. So they end up getting the phone hacked, if you will. I don't know what the word is you want to use there. And then they're able to go to the event.
I was gonna say, did you see that the code happened to be 1234 on the phone?
Yes. Yeah, that would be 1111 1234. That would have been the first couple guesses, I think. So
That was not the first couple guesses. They were trying to like do some weird environmentalist unlock like dates.
What are famous historical dates? Oh, he was into bikes. Clearly he's a bike enthusiast. What date did Lance Armstrong win the first Tour de France? It was classic. Good times. So after they get the phone unlocked, they then figure out where the actual event is. They realize they have to get all dressed up for it. They get all dressed up. There's the fancy, like, hey, you actually look pretty good, conventionally attractive Hollywood person. Once you're not wearing ridiculous clothing, you do too, other conventionally attractive Hollywood person. And so then they go to this event, and everyone has masks on, and there's a ceremony / orgy or whatever that's all happening, and it's blue lights and weird like ambient techno music is occurring, but then it all comes screeching to a halt because there's news that there are actually imposters among their ranks. And so everyone has to unmask at the count of 3. Only then our protagonists are the only ones then who actually do unmask. And so they're then found out. But right before they get swarmed up by the mob, sirens start going off, cops bust in, and seemingly arrest them.
They are taken to the station where it turns out they're not suspects at all, they find out. Oh, the cops weren't racist, that a brown and a black person didn't do the crime that they were suspected of? Miracle. They are witnesses, though. I mean, and the police go, instead of getting all the information from you now, we're just going to send you home with one cop who isn't even in, uniform and is the mustache man who has been chasing them the whole time.
See, and it's at that point they actually thought that the reveal was going to be like the police chief and all the police were actually in on it. Because, I mean, I thought regardless, like, they still committed crimes. Like, they still broke into that frat boy place. And they were, at best, somewhat connected to the murder of, like, 6 people. That doesn't just go away with a wave of the hand there. But, yeah, I guess it works as an okay reveal that the mustache man from earlier actually is a cop and isn't just pretending to be a cop. He's a dirty cop. So they end up then getting zip tied and taken out to a boat, and they're about to spaz out and really, really kind of fall apart when they realize that there's a cigarette lighter up front. And so Issa Rae goes in and then is able to use her tongue to push in against the cigarette lighter, which we're supposed to be told, like, whoa, yeah, that's hot. Instead of, I legitimately wonder, like, how much force does that tongue have then? Like, what level there? Because
what dick lifting exercises are you doing, lady?
Yeah, and why are you doing that? Most importantly, it's like finding out a guy.
I was
like,
preparing for the Amazing Race. Duh.
I mean, it's like finding out that the guy, if he brags, like, yeah, I can masturbate 23 times in a single day. It's just like, okay. I mean, what am I supposed to do exactly with that information there, guy? But cool. Yeah, great. Thanks. Good for you. Glad. So they end up able to melt the zip ties, and then they're able to overtake Mustache Man with the idea of there being a tense shootout type scenario after a scuffle, for Issa Rae has a gun trained on Mustache Guy, but Camille Nanjiani is locked in beside him, and they get into an argument. But it turns out it's a distraction. Ha ha!
All
And
of
so
their
then-
arguments are, apparently.
Yeah, he ducks down. She shoots him, which wow. And then that's what we're supposed to think of as the happy ending. Instead of, as far as the police know, the armed escort got taken over by the two people who busted out of their zip ties.
He's not
yeah.
dead.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, like, think about it from the police force side. People who were in connection with a whole bunch of these murders all of a sudden overtake their police escort.
The brown men
and then they
against
shoot him
the brown
in the
people
chest.
against the white man. Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, like, is it more likely or less likely that maybe the two of them are involved and the white guy is a accomplice to them versus,
I mean, the mustache means he's a bad guy. I mean, come on.
clearly. No, it's the fact that he's white that we're supposed to think he's a bad guy. So.
I mean,
Anyway.
he's just complaining about his job not being paid enough. I
put
mean,
my life on the line for this city.
and they pay me
This
in
is-
pennies. Well, as the Republicans would say, get a better job.
Yeah, move to a better area. He's taken into custody though, so good. She didn't kill him. She doesn't have that weight on her conscience, and our couple is able to reunite. Aw, that's a happy in there.
And they're
so we're
making
able to
out in the ambulance, and guess what? An EMT
What?
says the movie.
Look at them, a couple of lovebirds. Ha ha.
You want to fuck in the back of an ambulance? That's hot, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that ambulance driver is just like, this is great. Because usually there's what in cases like that, do both EMTs then sit at the front, or do you think that they monitor one of them sits in the back to monitor the other two people in the back?
Oh, we
'Cause
need to
that
put
just
some
means
heart
he's stuck
monitors on
watching.
you so you don't have heart attacks or something in the
Yeah.
back. So
No,
we're not
no,
liable.
You're in
thank you.
shock. No, what y'all are trying to fuck each other right now? No, you just shot a man. Like, you're gonna need years of therapy to fully process what just happened here tonight.
And to undo that fuck.
Yeah, and you oh wow, y'all are serious about wanting to do that. Okay, all right, yeah. So
It's in our Google Cal. Respect the Google Cal.
Yeah, so then we jump forward a year, and wouldn't you know it, they're actually contestants on The Amazing Race. Wow, and they're doing super well. But then we close out because guess what? The next challenge that they have coming up is all about.
Riding horses.
Yeah.
And he never wanted to see another horse ever. Oh no.
It's such a cutesy, quaint little way to end the movie. Like, if someone were to say the movie is at best a 6 out of 10, and at worst like a 5 out of 10, I would go, okay, yeah. So it strives for being a quaint, disposable, enjoyable little movie, and nothing
This
else.
is the movie of callbacks. That's all it is. It's
Yeah.
that's all I have to say.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have any like huge set pieces. It doesn't have like amazing stunt work or choreography.
No, it's just
A lot of it
callbacks
is-
to previous jokes that
Yep. I mean, and I understand that's part of what comedy is, but my God, like,
it's like the same 4 or 5 maybe jokes like the whole movie. And it's like, ha ha, we got you. Ha ha, we got you. It gets kind of old.
I
when
watched
you
it once. It
rewatch.
was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now when you
I
rewatch
watched it
it,
once,
it's
it
like,
was okay, and then-
cool.
Yep.
We didn't even
Exactly.
mention the Katy Perry song, but holy no, we're not covering that.
No.
Because we're all plastic bags.
What we do need to figure out, though, is what could they do to make this movie a 10 out of 10? How could they improve this movie?
My idea is cut to an orgy on the Google Calendar, and then it cuts to all of the people from The Amazing Race with them, in the orgy.
Okay. Well, perfect. I like that.
Better than the horses.
Certainly, like the reveal at the end would then actually make it be much more important and much cooler. I think if I were to try to improve this movie, I would give it an actual plot line. Like maybe Camille, while he's filming something for his documentary, he actually uncovers some element of blackmail. So then he is in possession of something, and then that's the chase.
Oh, and then
everything
like
else.
figures out like the cult,
Yes,
like
and so
finds
then,
it
like,
within the documentary, and then he just kind of like
he doesn't
like
know what he has fully. Yeah.
okay. I would say if
that's
he
what
would
I
like
think.
enter into the cult and become a part of the cult, and then just be like, I went in the inside, like here's the documentary, like
I went
how
all
some
inside.
people
I got all up inside there. I was just
I
blasted
did
away.
the work. As they
I raw
said.
dogged this documentary. A documentary, if you will. Well, okay. I mean, I guess that's going to go ahead and be quite an episode here. So as we wrap things up, do we have anything actually to plug?
I mean, nothing that we didn't plug in the beginning, but come watch movies with us.
I was going to say one thing that I think we should always be plugging
is movie nights.
That's right. Monday movie nights, 8 p.m. in our Discord now. Blah, 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 blah. Because why not? Why not?
Giggle.
It's going to be great. Y'all know where to find us. Go ahead and check our show notes for anything else. If you have any opinions about what movies are coming up that you would like us to cover, go ahead and let us know, because the more feedback, the better. I'm kind of just riding the wave of what's popular, both on Netflix and on Letterboxd, and just what's popping up on social media. But, if a group of people, like, 5 or 6 say, hey, y'all should cover this movie, I think that we absolutely could.
I mean, if anyone wants us to cover Mythic Quest or Silicon Valley, I would not be opposed, because I will rewatch. Ha ha ha.
That's right. We will cover all the bullshit startup culture type stuff that you possibly eat your hearts out, kids, is what I'm saying. All right. Well, we love you. Bye.